What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So the judges told Leandro that what he needs is more size, more density, more thickness. And the man took that feedback very seriously. And I think after Samson, he's the heaviest bodybuilder in the pro league right now. So the weight, that really doesn't mean anything in most of the cases. But if a guy like Leandro is able to show up on the stage with that same condition that he had this year at Cali Pro, where he was third behind Regan and Sazan Hiroti, with this kind of size that he's showcasing right now, then that will be a very impressive look. And he's gonna be arguably one of the biggest bodybuilder in the open class next year. So that right there is a lot of muscle on that back. And although he was unable to get his first pro win this year, but we did saw his career's best look so far, and also he got the best placing of his career this year. So he placed second behind Good Vito at the Arnold Brazil, and he also got a few other good placings throughout this year. So he looked very impressive at this year's Arnold Brazil. And if someone can look competitive next to a guy like Good Vito in terms of that overall width, which Leandro 100% did, then he is legit a massive bodybuilder. The one thing that he need to improve, especially from that Arnold Brazil look, that was the conditioning aspect. So this update today marks the end of the off-season for Leandro, which means he's gonna be targeting one of those earlier shows, maybe Detroit Pro next year. Or who knows, he's gonna go for the Arnold Brazil again. So looking at this physique from this year, the combination of size and the flow that he has already showcased, that was seriously impressive. Now he did pack on some considerable amount of new muscle, new mass, but he was hitting those deep vacuums on the stage. So the 2026 package, that is something that we should all look forward to, and we might see him on the Olympia stage next year. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So very few bodybuilders out there have this type of genetics that a guy like Jordan Hutchinson has. So 8 weeks post his Olympia debut, and just have a look at his current body fat composition, the kind of conditioning that he's holding on to. I mean, the guy has feathers on his quads and striations on his glutes 8 weeks post competition. So the man perfected that rebound, and now he's ready to push for a big off season and put on some more muscle, some mass for 2026. So seeing Jordan in a condition like this, that kind of makes you question that he could have done one of these post-Olympia shows and he would have easily earned an early Olympia spot for next year. But kind of seems like him and his team, they have other plans. The fact is, Jordan could not have done any better than how he did in the last 1.5 years working with his coach Chris. So together, they seem to nail every single aspect in terms of bodybuilding. The size, the muscle, the conditioning, the off-season, everything clicked. I mean, even last year, when Jordan wasn't in the winning circle, you could not question the kind of conditioning that he brought throughout last year, because the man always showed up, sharp and hard as a rock. So his side shots, they have been improving tremendously in the past couple of years. He has also successfully added some arms thickness, which in turn will help him greatly in whatever show he decides to go for in 2026. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, Jordan was 12th at his Olympia debut this year. So he beat guys like Regan, Rubiel, Ors and so many others. So next year, he will be aiming to crack top 10, which seems like a very realistic goal, especially based on how fast and how tremendously the man has been improving and making progress. So he might take another very long off season, and we might see him get back on the stage at Tampa Pro and Texas Pro to defend his title in 2026. So this is Akim Williams today, all buffed up, ready for an off season. So looking at the Big Man Weekend, which is going down tomorrow, and the level of competition that we're gonna witness at that show, which by the way doesn't look very deep. Akim Williams skipping this show, that kind of seems like a big mistake. but he was seriously unhappy with the way judges placed him in Poland Pro. So Akim Williams showed some serious reservation on how they judged that show a couple of weeks back, because he was adamant that he was the widest guy and the biggest guy on that stage, and he wasn't that far off in terms of his condition. But still, him not even placing in the top 3, that must have been a very hard pill to swallow. So the 2 bad showings from Akim was at the Olympia this year and then in Poland, the show that he was supposed to win. That must have hurt him big time. I guess Poland, that was a seriously big hit to Akim Williams, because nobody in the bodybuilding world, they were expecting Akim to place 4th in that show. I mean, almost everyone out there, they had him winning the show. So that is something that must have really broken his motivation to continue to diet for another few weeks. So if the judges mark down Akim Williams based on his back, then he has got a very serious problem on his hand for the future too, because that is something which isn't fixable, as it is related to a nerve damage and an injury. But looking at the big man weekend and the lineup there, Akim at his best, he probably would have won this show and he would have secured his Olympia spot. So now he's gonna hit a show probably in the late 2026. So the former Olympia champion Samson arrived in Spain for the big man weekend, looking absolutely humongous. Now I am pretty sure he's the first bodybuilder in the history of the sport who is claiming to be really comfortable weighing 350 plus pounds, because all the guys in the past, whether it be Ronnie Coleman or Big Ramy, they will all tell you how difficult it was to do anything at that kind of body weight. Even breathing, that is a task at that kind of body weight. But Samson is a different breed, and no surprise that he might push to even 360 pounds in the coming weeks. And if he can add some solid size, some muscle, especially in his back, I mean, just have a look at the comparison of the thickness and the density between him and a guy like Derek Lunsford from the back. Now that's a lot to catch up. So he does need more mass in some areas. And if he can do that without blowing up his waistline, without compromising his aesthetics, then why not? He's gonna become so much more dangerous and so much more freaky. So that chase of conditioning, that certainly backfired big time, as he lost too much size, too much muscle, and the man just simply isn't chasing that anymore. So Samson is merely weeks post his last show, which was Prague, and is already throwing around big weights, looking so damn massive in the gym. And this time, he's going for redemption. So can he make a comeback, like Ronnie Coleman did back in 2003, after losing to Gunter Schulkamp? Well, at this point, we do not know, we cannot say. Many people believe that he may not be able to deal with guys like Hadi Chopin and Derek, even Andrew next year, and they are gonna create more problems for Samson. But we do wanna see him back on the stage with his old size, looking all round and bubbly and 3D, not to mention his crazy aesthetics. And there is zero doubt in anyone's mind that the size is coming back, and so is Samson Dauda. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.